I've been asked many times in class, how do we deal with changes? How do we deal with difficulties in our lives? So, and more importantly, how do we actually read this in a BaZi chart, right? How do we read this in our astrology chart? Now, today we're going to talk about how we can recognize some of this in our destiny chart, and more importantly, what are the ways we could see this, interpret this, and more importantly, how we can deal with it. Now, essentially, when we talk about difficulties or changes or so-called problems in our life, a majority of them is not really just caused by a clash. A clash in our BaZi chart, in our destiny chart, basically implies there is significant changes happening, or in that period of time, there is a change taking place. So don't be afraid of all the clashes yet. Let's just analyze this in detail, and how should we interpret this, and how do we deal with this when we have to, come into terms with a clash or a change that is happening in our lives. Okay. So before we read our destiny chart, right, before we go down to this thing called clashes, I'm sure that some of you are not well versed probably with Chinese astrology, let alone know what a clash is. Right? I think in Western astrology, they call it an opposition. In Chinese astrology, they call it the clash of animal signs, okay? Or clash of elements. Now, don't worry about the technical stuff first. Let's understand this, okay? Change becomes difficult when we resist change. Let's just understand this, okay? Change becomes difficult when we resist change. And as we come, you just think about it, as we become older, we have this bubble around us that is called our safety zone, our comfort zone. Some call it our comfort zone. And anything that is beyond this bubble or threatens this bubble of comfort that we have, we tend not to feel comfortable, or we felt threatened, or we felt disturbed, right? So we feel it is difficult, it is challenging, because it's something that, it's changing our comfort zone, okay? So the thing is, when we get older, we tend to say we're just becoming more practical, we don't want to take that many risks, or we just prefer that we are in a situation where we are familiar with. And when things start to be different, we start to, we're worried about what this could be, right? We fear that the outcome may not be, in line with our comfort zone, or it's no longer practical for us. But let's just think about this, right? When we were younger, in our younger days, and you can just look kids today, right? I mean, I have kids. Look at what kids are doing. They would jump from one sofa to the other sofa without even thinking of the consequences, right? They would just keep doing things that excite them. And if you think about this, comfort is not their number one priority. In fact, what do you think is their number one priority? Their number one priority would be excitement, right? The zest for life to do something that they have not done before, or let me put it a different way, to experience what they have not experienced before is in fact their main priorities in life. Don't you think so? So, and of course, sometimes they get hurt, sometimes they get into trouble as a result of doing something that is different. But then again, if you think about it, that's how we all grow up, right? When we were young, when we were in our younger days, we will tend to do everything that brings excitement to us. We want to try different things. We are more open to trying different kinds of food. We are open to meeting different kinds of people. We want to do different types of exercises. We want to go to different places. Why? Because it is exciting to see something and experience something that is different, okay? We did not resist change. But as we become older, become more conscious of things that are in events and people around us, we become protective, right? We are more used to the practical side of things, that, more comfort, more the things that we are used to experiencing, because we don't want, in Chinese people say, we don't want mafan, we don't want any trouble, we don't want any problems, and therefore we stick with what we already know and less of exploring life. You think about it, isn't that so? Right? So when we talk about a clash in our BaZi chart, a clash in an astrology chart can take place at a younger stage, And therefore, it's not really an issue for most of us. When we interpret it, it's like, oh, someone may be moving hometown or changing schools, or changing school, basically maybe the parents are changing locations of residence, and therefore they have to change school, change the environment. Or in some cases, maybe parents divorce, or parents have to change in terms of their relationship. But that sort of changes in their younger days may not have been as painful as they are experienced in their older days, because the resistance to change and the adaptability to change is different as we grow older. Okay, so really, when we resist change, or when we are like saying no to life's changes, that's when we experience difficulties and when we experience pain. Now, of course, the change happens to us in two ways. Either A, something that changed to what we expect it to be, that is a pleasant change. And of course, the change that is not up to what we expect it to be, that will be called a problem, right? Don't you think so? Everyone says they like surprises in life, but they only like the surprises that they like, right? If there's a surprise that they don't like, they possibly name that as trouble or tragedy and stuff like that, right? So if we just view clashes as being neutral, right? A clash means change, or something that disrupts the energy pattern in the chart means change. The question is, are you the one initiating the change, or is this change being initiated to you? So the chart really doesn't say who needs to initiate the change first. If you are conscious of the change upcoming in the chart, of course, then you could decide to embrace it and or be the initiator of that change. If you are the initiator of the change, then you are more likely to guide it to the direction that is within your expectations and control. So therefore, all clashes, when you look at it, you must decide that you are the initiator, because at least you're more in control, or at least you could be the one embracing the change. The thing is, when you are saying you are accept change and you're okay with change, you're excited with the change, that means you are someone that says you're pro-life. It's just like a child growing up, right? Every change excites you. Everything that's different, hey, something different. I get to experience new food, new places, new people. That excites you. But when you say no to that, it's like, then you're scared, right? You're fearful. Oh, who's going to be? I don't know how I'm going to present myself. It's going to be something different. I'm not going to be comfortable with that. And that's when you feel painful. Now, I know sometimes when change happens, it forces you out from doing what is the ordinary. But if you're okay with that, you accept things that you cannot control and just do what is within your control, then you're already guiding the change towards the direction that you can achieve the desired outcome. Okay, so really, when you think about a clash that is in the chart, there's no such thing as avoiding a clash. I know that people saying, all you have to do is avoid the clash, right? All you need to do is have a pendant. If you wear this pendant, it combines with the animal sign and you don't have a clash. That's basically stupid, yeah? You don't combine away a clash. Why would you resist life? Resisting life is when you are saying no to all these things and you're avoiding your life in fear of what could happen to you. Why don't you embrace it and steer it towards the direction that you want? So how do you do that? Well, first you need clarity on what you want. You have to have clarity on what you want to change. It's either a change in career, change in relationships. We say, some people say, I change relationship, I'm scared. Oh, am I going to lose someone? No, it can be better, right? A changed relationship can be even better because you make things even better and more exciting for the both of you, right? A change in health could be a change in terms of you becoming healthier and more energetic. So change can actually be steered towards the direction that you want if you understand and take responsibility for that change. Okay, so if you think about it, right, life itself is essentially changing all the time. That's the essence of Chinese metaphysics, yin and yang. The yin and yang symbol, I'm sure you've seen one before, it's constantly evolving, yin and yang transformational. That's why there's changes in seasons, changes in the environment. In fact, there are changes in our body right now, right? At this point in time, every cell, everything in our body is constantly growing, constantly changing. Our cells are also changing. If you don't like change, you're saying, stop growing, stop breathing, stop living. Can you stop breathing right now? Can you stop growing right now? You can't, because that's the change, right? So if you say no to change, essentially the only point where you're not changing is when you cease to exist. If the fact that you're alive today, things are changing. If you resist change, that means it's better off you don't exist anymore, right? Which means you're dead, right? So if you are still alive, you gotta be able to embrace change. And if you embrace change and you understand that change is constant, you will be able to direct it in the form of growth. So clashes no longer should be seen as something that is painful, right? So there are a lot of pressures, right? Rat and horse clash. So, in the year 2020, the year of the rat, everyone is afraid of, oh, I have a horse, my child, I'm afraid. And 2021, it's the ox year, will clash with goat. And 2022 is a tiger year, will clash with monkey. And so on and so forth. So animal science, they're so afraid of this clash. But there's nothing wrong with the clash. But Chinese people, right, know there's a clash here. You need to pray to the Tai Soi, right? You pray to the Grand Duke and the Sip the Tai Soi, right? So they have all these things coming up. But it's actually not essential. What you really want to do, it's not just go and pray, but what you want to do is really understand that there will be changes. It's either you initiate the change or you embrace the change. Okay? When things come to you and accept it, it's easier for you to respond to it. But if you resist it, I don't like this, I don't like that, that's the problem. Now you may say some change are really bad, like, oh, I'm forced out of the company, I'm forced out from my career. Well, even if that's the case, maybe it's time for you to strike out on your own. Right? If you look at it positively, sometimes, changes happen for a good reason for you. If you just understand the lesson and the reason, okay? So I know sometimes it could be painful, but remember, the pain is when you resist it. When you embrace it and accept that some things already happened and take responsibility for what you still can do, you will be able to steer it in a direction that is favorable to you, okay? So whether or not you see the BaZi clashes in the chart, or whether if you don't even know astrology, that is fine. If you see it in your life happening, when change is happening as a result of these elements, do not worry. As long as you embrace the change, you understand that change is constant. It just means that you are growing. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you did, and if you find any value at all, please write in the comment section so that me and my team can see it, and then we can go and have pizza tonight. And also share your experience with change. How did you handle change yourself? If you're a BaZi practitioner, how did you handle that clash in your life? Okay, so maybe some people here who are new will be able to benefit from your experience as well. And if you are new, don't forget to introduce yourself so that we get to know you better. And remember to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to get notification every time I release a new video right here. Thank you so much for watching.